Did you know the College Dropout wasn't always called the College Dropout? And this isn't even the original version. Let me explain. 22 years ago today, Kanye gave us what would be one of his best projects and also his debut album. There's so many small interesting facts that a lot of people probably know or don't know. For example, the original name of the project was not the College Dropout. It was actually supposed to be called Hug Dealin', but for obvious reasons, they couldn't use that. It wasn't like they couldn't really use it. I mean, we know Kanye, so he was going to use it if he wanted to, but they wanted to have mainstream success, so they decided not to use it. And like G said, it wasn't just a 2-second conversation. No, it was a real conversation. Unlike the conversation with Coodie, who thought the project should be called Kanye West on the Track because Jay-Z said it. But like I mentioned in the beginning, this is not the original cover, nor is it the original project. And a lot of you guys probably already knew this if you were a Kanye fan, but if you ever wonder why there's a white version and a brown version of the album, that is because the brown version is the version before the white one, which is the remastered version. Man, that was a lot to say, but as you guys can see, Kanye has always been revising his projects even after their releases, with the College Dropout being the first time we see him do this. And he does this so often that there's actual Reddit threads that keeps track of every time he changes something in the song. This next one will probably be surprising because the song he used was actually not released. But the original female vocals for All Falls Down was supposed to be Lauryn Hill, which it is, but it isn't. And I say that because the original sample came from an unplugged version of Lauryn Hill's Mystery of Iniquity. After making the demo, Kanye's team hit up Lauryn to, get the sample cleared, but they ended up never getting a call back from Lauryn. And we later on find out that she didn't like the unplugged version that she did, which is why she never responded. She actually wanted to redo the track and have that version be the first release of the track. But the project had to be dropped and time was ticking, so Kanye called up Selena Johnson, who executed it perfectly. During the recording session, Kanye pretty much tells her to do it the way she would do it, and that's how we got the track we have today. The funny part is that wouldn't even be the first time that somebody's ghosted Kanye during the making of this project, because on the track Never Let Me Down featuring Jay-Z and J.I.V., you hear a beautiful choir, something that Kanye has always loved and enjoyed throughout his creation of music. I mean, listen to Jesus Walks. But the choir we hear on Never Let Me Down was not the original choir. It actually wasn't even a choir. It was one person, Terry Teray, who was also J.I.V.'s wife. Story goes, Kanye had originally hired a choir to do it, but when the choir had heard what he was talking about, they were just like, we can't do this. And they all ended up ghosting Kanye, which left Terry being the only vocalist in the studio. So she went ahead and layered each part like a choir, and the rest was history. And since I mentioned the track Jesus Walks, let's talk about that too. Did you know that there's 3 different versions of the Jesus Walk music video, all totaling at like $1.2 million? First version was shot by Michael Hoffman for $650,000. Just for Kanye not to like that version and shooting another version with Chris Milk for $500,000. And I actually like this one because it has more of the Jesus iconography, and it just feels more like what Kanye would have wanted. The third version, which is the cheapest version directed by Coodie, it costs about $40,000, but it is the most practical version because Kanye is actually walking with Jesus. This version never really got to see the light of day, but I'm pretty sure it would have been the most controversial. Also, that sound in the background of Jesus Walks that sound like a flute on auto-tune, that's John Legend. And if Spaceship is your favorite song on the project, just know it almost didn't make the project. That is because the track was originally made for Consequence, but Kanye decided to use it on his project to highlight Consequence. And this track actually meant a lot to a lot of other people, which gave it the name The People's Song. But if you enjoyed this video and want more fun facts, don't forget to like, follow, and comment down below.